Do you have a tendency of trouble sleeping? If yes, then in this episode, I'm going to share with you the Ayurvedic tips on how to deal with that. Hi, this is Zia and welcome to Holistic Nomads TV, where ancient wisdom and modern science can help you to have more clarity and energy in your life. Today is the last class of our series of Dinacharya or Ayurvedic daily regime. So if you haven't watched the previous episode, on the caption below there's a link to watch all of the classes, basically everything, the ideal things to do from wake up until you sleep again from Ayurvedic perspective. And in today's class is the last episode of this series, and we are going to focus on how to ground the energy down, what's the ideal things to do in the evening so that our body is ready to sleep. Today's class is going to be divided into two parts. The first part, I'm going to share with you the importance of why we need to pay attention on the things, activities that we do between 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. And on the second part, I'm going to share with you the ideal activities to do according to Ayurveda between 6 until 10 p.m. So, why is it important to pay attention on the things that we need to do between 6 until 10 p.m.? As I have mentioned on the previous class about Dinacharya, each time of the day relates to certain organ and also related to certain dosha. So, let's review the time of the day and its correlation with the dosha. From 6 until 10, whether morning or in the evening, it is related to the dosha of kapha. 10 until 2, whether it's during the day or during the night, it is related to the dosha of pitta. And lastly, from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. or also a.m., it is related to the dosha of vata. So in this class, we are going to focus on the things, the activities that we need to do ideally according to Ayurveda from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. So the reason that we need to adjust our activities between this time is because it is the kapha time of the night. And because kapha is related with the element of water and earth, this is the time when we feel most heavy compared to the other night, and it comes with a reason. The reason is because our body wants to slowly feel heavy, wants to slowly ground itself down so that we can feel sleepy, and then we can have a good night deep sleep, which is ideally we already sleep, and especially in deep sleep between 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Now, why we need to be already in deep sleep between that time? It is because during that time is the pitta time of the night, so that we use that pitta fiery energy in the night between 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. to transform the experiences for that day, from the emotion, from the thoughts, everything that we go through that day, so that we no longer drag it the next day. So in the morning, the next morning, we feel refreshed, we feel renewed and ready for the new day. Another perspective we look at it is also to see from the organ clock. So between 11 p.m. until 2 a.m., the organs that get activated related with the detoxification, like gallbladder. So these organs that relates with the detoxification will only work in its maximum potential if we're already in deep sleep. So imagine if we're still awake during this time, our organs that relate to detoxification wouldn't be able to work properly because we use it not to transform our inner world, ourself, but we still use it to the outside. Which is why, again, it is very, very important to pay attention on things that we do between 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. with one actually main intention to make us feel rested and ready to go to bed and be already in deep sleep between 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Next part, I'm going to share with you the ideal things to do between this time of kapha, which is 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. according to Ayurveda. I highlighted 6 activities that I will highly recommend for you to adapt. And the first one is to avoid blue spectrum light. Now, you might wondering, what is blue light spectrum? Blue light has a very short wavelength, and so it produces a higher amount of energy, and which is why it boosts serotonin secretion. Studies suggest that over time, exposure to blue light spectrum could cause serious long-term damage to the eyes. Now, where is the blue light spectrum found? Sun is a natural source of blue light. The artificial source of blue light are screens, which can be found from TVs, computer, laptops, smartphones, or tablets, and electronic devices, and also fluorescent and LED lighting. The next question is, why then we should avoid blue light spectrum? Among the other health risks, especially with the eyes, studies have shown that exposure to the blue light spectrum in the evening disturbs the circadian rhythm, which is the relationship of our body with the sun. Receiving the exposure to the blue light spectrum in the evening causes our body to secrete hormone serotonin instead of melatonin, which we need in the evening so that we can feel relaxed and ready to go to bed. So you might ask how to avoid it. It is actually very simple. First, ideally, you don't look at screens like TVs, computer, phones, or tablets like I mentioned earlier. But let's say you still need to work, you still need to look at those screens, then I will highly recommend to do this cheat sheet. First, you can install software to make your screen have more reddish warm color. So if you use the new iPhone, for example, or Android, sometimes it's already come with an app or built-in program that makes your screen has a reddish color. So it reduces the blue light spectrum. Or if you use laptop, then there is a free software called f.lux that you can look on the internet and download it for free, and it will automatically make your screen become orangish reddish once the sun goes down. Another trick besides installing this software to make your screen become less bright with this blue light spectrum is to use or wear a blue blocker eyeglass like this one. So when I put this on now, everything looks more warm, like yellowish. It really depends on the glasses that you have. So some lenses can filter the blue light spectrum until up to 95%, and some can only be like less than even 50%. So it depends on your needs. You can just go to your optics and just search online as well and choose your preference. The second activity that I will highly recommend to do during kapha time of the night is to drink calming tea. One of the example, or two of the example, is chamomile and licorice tea. Why? Because these two tea can help to relax the nerve system, to ground and stabilize the mind, so you are ready to feel tired, to feel sleepy, and you're ready to go to bed. The third activity that I will highly recommend to do is to do some journaling. There are so many studies that you can find, that you can Google online about the benefits of journaling. So for me personally, journaling becomes a new habit that I just installed in my life, and I personally get tremendous benefits out of it. Now, what I do, I don't necessarily write everything about my life, about that day, but I'm really specific with the time and the energy that I put into on this journaling. So what I do, what I emphasize more on this journaling is to put my gratitude, what I feel gratitude on that day, and also I wrote and I share what do I want to see more in my life the next day. And also, if there's important learning lesson that I have, that I experienced that day, then I also share this so that there is more action organs that is involved during this experience, so that the lesson from that experience can be installed deeper in my being. Next one, if you read a book, make sure that you don't read a book that is engaging for your intellectual mind. So choose something that is more light, more casual, more fantasy probably, so that your nerve system can still feel more calm, can still be in its grounded and stable mind state. So it's not going to that pitta goal-getter mode, that not going to make you feel ready to go to bed. Now, the fifth activities that I will highly recommend for you to do is to drink a herb called Triphala. So Triphala is actually a formula, a mixture of 3 different herbs, that is Amalaki, Bibitaki, and Haritaki. So we already have a class specifically on Triphala. So on the caption below, there's a link to watch further, to learn further about Triphala. What's the benefits, what's the ingredients of it, and everything you need to know about that, and also contraindications. And quick note, so why we want to drink Triphala right before that, it is because Triphala is a gentle laxative. Ideally, you drink this right before bed so that you are ready to go to bed, to poop it out, your things that you transform throughout the night in the morning, not earlier, which is why it is important to drink it right before sleep. Again, if you want to learn more about Triphala, on the caption below there's a link to watch our previous class on Triphala. And lastly, the sixth activity that I will highly recommend if you want to maximize this kapha energy between 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. is everything related to insomnia. So if you have tendency to trouble sleeping, then these three activities is highly important for you to do. The first one is to drink tonifying herbs for the nerve system. So there are two options. First one, there's a formula called Chayawan Prash. And the second one, there's a wine. Yes, Ayurvedic wine called Saraswatarishnam. So what Kimana will recommend to drink this Chayawan Prash is to mix 1 tablespoon of Chayawan Prash with around 200 ml of milk. Now when I say milk, we usually use nut milk oil because we have tendency to not digest dairy milk very well. So it really depends on your needs. And for the Saraswatarishnam as well, so it's basically many different kind of herbs cooked inside this gold pot, and it's cooked over a long period of time, and it has really high benefits to calm the nerve system. Now, you don't actually need so much of this, so don't imagine drinking Ayurvedic wine like the typical wine of like 1 glass. No, here you actually only need 15 ml of this wine just before bed. So that's around 1 tablespoon. So don't expect like drinking wine. So summary, Chayawan Prash and Saraswatarishnam, these two herbs can help you feel more relaxed, with your nerve system feel more at ease so that you are ready to go to bed in the right time. Next tips to help you feel even more relaxed, feel even more ready to go to bed and avoid that insomnia tendency is to have a warm bath. Why warm bath, you might ask? So it is because insomnia or trouble sleeping usually caused because there is imbalance in vata. And in our body, vata usually reside along our lower back and also the lower part of the body. So when you're having a warm bath, the dominant part that you need to make sure that it get that warmth is our lower back and also our legs. So with that, it will help to balance that vata quality that relates with coldness, and you balance that out with something that is warming. I will also usually put essential oils that can help to relax the nerve system. And a few of my favorites are lavender and also sandalwood essential oil. The third tips to help you combat the insomnia is to give yourself a foot massage with oil. This is because when we massage our sole of the foot, it has all of the reflex point of the organs, so it will help you to feel instantly calm and therefore make you feel relaxed and ready to go to bed. Now, I will also put socks on. What I also personally use is a thick merino wool. Yes, even in the tropics, I actually sleep with merino wool, so that as vata tendency who have cold extremities in the hand and especially in the feet because of the circulation imbalance, then that socks not only helps for the oil to absorb even more, but it also makes sure that your feet stays warm so that you don't wake up because there is vata imbalance in your feet. And lastly, the last tips to help you combat that tendency of trouble sleeping is to meditate before you go to bed. Now, there are so many options on the kind of meditation that is good for you, that helps you to go feel more relaxed and go to bed. One of few of my favorites is anything that is guided, so you don't need to think, because by having that guidance, just having audio, for example, it instantly makes your vata, your nerve system, feel relaxed because you don't need to think. There is also an example of yoga nidra for sleep that you can look online, so that can be one of the options as well. But if you have your personal preference on your meditation technique, then you're welcome to do that as well. Now, as always, all of the information that we share on Holistic Nomads YouTube channel is educational in nature, which means you have the responsibility, the wisdom to apply whether this information that we share can be applied to your life or not, because you are the one who know your body more than any other people. Or you can ask your health practitioners and inquire with them whether the information that we share here can be applied to you or not. Now, theory without practice is wasteful because hearing leads to forgetting, teaching leads to remembering, and applying leads to mastering. That's why we will encourage you to leave a comment below and share one learning insight from this video. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you will be the first to hear about our future educational videos. And for more resources on health and healing, check out our website holisticnomads.com. There you will find articles, quizzes on Ayurveda, loads of free downloads, and of course our future events and courses. Thank you so much for watching. We hope it's been beneficial for you. Hope to see you next week. Bye! We feel renewed, we don't drag, exactly like that.